thing that's huge at this show from an ag standpoint is the launch of the Big Bud tractor again. I believe they quit making these in 1990, and there's a brand new one sitting here. So we're going to go interview someone with that tractor, take a look at it. That'll be a whole separate video, so check the channel if you're interested in that. We'll have some clips of it in this video, but all the info is going to be on a whole separate video. Because, well, I'm pretty excited about it. He sells John Deere and he's excited about it.
Cool.
This thing weighs.
Oh man.
The only thing that doesn't look 1980s, like is just crude, hard, thick steel, heavy built, is the plastic on that cab. Part of me wishes it was steel too.
It's got modern LED lights and stuff.
Oh yeah. I'm genuinely curious what this cost. Big platform up here. Easy to walk around. So the cab of this machine is very familiar because this is a Challenger cab, like an older Challenger cab from like a 800 series. So we demoed an 875E a couple years ago, same cab.
Probably doesn't swivel much, does it?
I don't know if this one even swivels. Might need air. But this is pretty cool. This is a pretty big improvement from the cab of a Big Bud you could buy now. So it does look like this one has an aftermarket Raven GPS system in it. I'm sure you could put an ag leader in it. It'd be perfectly fine, fix that problem.
Or a John Deere 4640 display. Just saying.
You want to put something complicated in a very simple machine. I don't understand you. Anyways, back to looking. This is just a massive machine.
It's huge.
Massive.
It's tall.
Yeah, we're up here.
We're up there.
I don't know if we could run this. It might be 14 plus.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, we're up in the air. It's aggressive. Now we've looked inside. We're gonna let some other people in here, and we're gonna go talk to one of the reps from. Oh, that's different. Talk to one of the reps from Big Bud. As you can see, this one is not done. I'd say they just got it here for the show. Ron Harmon of Big Equipment, correct? And we're standing beside the first Big Bud tractor since what, 1990?
Since 91.
91? Okay. That's some pretty exciting stuff there.
Right. The first Big Bud was built in 69. I bought the company in 74. We built tractors from 75 on up through 91. We had a transmission issue, couldn't get transmissions for about a year, and that really shut us down for a while. Then we went back and built some Series 4 tractors like this one. We built them up through 91.
Okay.
And so now, what we've been doing in the interim is we had a real interesting business, and that is we've been bringing back the Big Buds and rebuilding them. So we brought back some 20,000 hour, 30,000 hour, and even up to 40,000 hour tractors. Completely rebuilt them because they're made to be rebuildable with a skid system like this. The powertrain all slides out, and we use standard off-the-shelf components and no restrictions for access. So we've been rebuilding them, and because we're down to kind of 3 manufacturers here in the U.S., we felt that they restrict you. Their systems don't allow you to do work on the units, and so we wanted to build a tractor again that was non-restricted, that anybody can fix or work on, that we're using components that are used worldwide, that you can buy parts from anybody, anywhere, and that's what this tractor is. So we just kind of made the full circle, coming back and building a tractor again, even in this higher tech period.
Yeah.
And we can make this tractor as high tech as you want. We elect not to. We elect to use standard off-the-shelf parts with big hydraulics, with lots of capability for auto steer. But we're using components in this tractor. Some are as old as 30-some years. Most importantly, they still build the same series of components today. So we're trying to show that you can buy a new tractor, you can buy it with proven components.
pretty awesome what you guys are doing. I know, like a lot of people my age, have seen Welkers rebuilding their machines and stuff, and it's pretty cool to see those same tractors. I mean, I think those tractors have been there all of Nick and Scott's life, and they are still serving that farm well.
Yes, they are.
And that's really neat.
700 model tractor. We're restricted initially on horsepower. It's a 640 horsepower. Of course, it's capable of more depending on which components I use, but in this case, we're 640.
I see it was a Cat C18.
Cat C18 engine. We're using the Cat T22 transmission, but the L series, which means it's a mining construction transmission. 16-speed power.
Okay.
And then we use the 988 Cat axles. And they build those in different series, but the point is they're a proven axle that parts are readily available worldwide, and we're offering it in the tractor because they are proven, and they're very heavy duty.
So this one's clearly spec for the scraper that's hooked to, but are you guys going to be building an ag version of this machine, or with an ag drawbar?
It'll look exactly the same,
Okay.
except for the hitch will be different.
Yep.
Maybe the hydraulic connections will be different, but basic tractor can be used for farming.
Same drivetrain and everything?
Right. Instead of these narrower, taller tires, we'll be using like LSWs as an example, Titan tires, and those tires will be wider for farming.
Yep.
Or we can put their very largest tire on, a 1400, which is 55 inches wide. We can put that on and allow that to be used as a big single.
Yep.
So it keeps the tractor pretty narrow. So we have all those options. And Wold Wheel Company built our wheels, and they've done an excellent job. So when we go into these different wheel specs, we'll be using their wheel systems, most likely.
So what are the dimensions of this particular machine? I guess the main thing that concerns height-wise, how tall are we sitting with this machine here?
Well, I think we're in that 12, 13 foot range.
I wasn't sure if we were quite to 14 yet or not. I mean, looking at it, it's a very tall machine.
It's less than 40.
Okay.
The idea is they can be moved around. Just pretty much like any other tractor.
Yeah. And width-wise, you're probably 18, 17, 18, 15?
No, we're about 15 and a half feet wide right now. But
it's about the same for any machine with 710s on it.
Yeah,
710
right,
booms.
right. Yep.
Okay.
But even though the axles are much more heavy duty, like if you take the duals off of this, we're only about 10 and a half feet wide.
Okay.
So we're not really much different than most tractors.
So to get different spacings, you're just using a different wheel, basically.
Right.
Yeah, gotcha. What's going to be the finished weight of this machine when it's completely
It's
finished?
going to be close. It'll vary with options.
Yep.
It'll vary from 65,000 to 70,000.
I know, just looking at it, you rarely see a machine in the ag industry these days with inch plating all the way around.
Inch and a half.
Inch and a half plating.
Well, you got to have the basic dry weight. You got to weigh 100 pounds per horsepower. It doesn't matter who makes it.
Yep.
So we built it into the frame and then made the frame heavy enough so we can just take a skid system and slide it in and out.
Okay.
And if you use a light frame, you can't do that. Most manufacturers use the integral strength of the engine transmission as part of their overall engineering design.
Yep.
Once you do that, you're stuck with what they put in there. We do the opposite. We take it and make the frame self-supporting so that it doesn't matter which engine or transmission or axle you put in. We're going to build a number of units this year. We will double, triple that next year and so on. No, we're in this for the long haul. And Rome is our 50-50 partner. They needed tractors to pull their equipment. So we decided to go together with them, a well-known 91-year-old company that is really with us on this project.
Okay. One other question. Let's say that I wanted a big bud tractor. Is that something that I'm calling into Big Equipment and custom ordering that machine? Or
Yes.
Okay. So every one of them is spec to your
spec, and it's not that Rome won't be selling them through their dealer group and so on.
Well, that was my next question. Is there a dealer network? So that'll be through Rome.
But what we've learned in the rebuild business, we like to hire independent mechanics and companies that offer service. And it doesn't mean we won't use dealers, but we like the fact that we don't have to use dealers. We do want to offer full serviceability through either a mechanic network, construction, farming network. We want to be able to make sure the farmer has and the end user has service. I've used this frame system all the way to 950 horsepower. So we have a lot of growth room.
A lot of capability.
To us.
Are there going to be maybe smaller sizes?
We're thinking about that. We're thinking about that 350 to 450 horsepower range and other tractor.
Okay.
But we're probably at least a couple years out before we'd offer that.
Okay.
But again, we're going to use the same technology, meaning we got big hydraulics, big as anybody. We have any auto steer system will work in this tractor. We're trying to make a tractor that if you're a John Deere guy or your Case IH or your Cat Challenger, doesn't really matter. We can run anything they're running now and more.
I noticed it looked like it had an AGCO cab on it. Is that the?
It is an AGCO cab.
Okay.
But since our cab tilts back over the rear frame 80-some degrees, we could put a Case IH cab, a John Deere cab, an AGCO cab, doesn't matter, because our cabs are meant to be universal. So we'll probably key more in one cab than the other over time, but we don't have to.
What is the fuel tank capacity? That was one thing I was trying to figure out.
One of the tanks got 125 gallons of hydraulic capacity, and the other 3 tanks we can put 500 gallons in.
500 gallons on 3 tanks, so 1,500 gallons of fuel. Okay.
Otherwise, we can get close to 700 gallons. 600 or something.
Okay. But it's really cool. I really like the fact that they're making that user-friendly for the consumer. That doesn't seem to be a trend that many manufacturers are practicing. So, really like what they're doing. Really like what that company stands for. So, that is pretty awesome. We cuss technology more than anything in our line of work, and keeping that thing simple that's just awesome.